Oh! Oh! Ah! Oh! Man, you don't miss. I don't know. I got so mad I couldn't hit something. Okay, hey guys, so what's up? This is Marvel Infinite. I'm doing a quick guide on all the systems and all the things that have changed from 3. So what's changed from 3 is this is still a 4-button fighter, but before it was light, medium, heavy, and S, S being a launcher. Now it is light punch, light kick, heavy punch, and heavy kick. So you might be saying, where's the launcher then? The launcher is now universally down heavy punch. So if you do down heavy punch and hold up, you'll automatically jump with them, and then you can do your air combo or whatever. So also they have a wave dash in this game, which it's the same as it was in the previous games. But what it essentially is in this game you have to press both punches together to dash. You can also do it by doing like tapping double forward, but nobody really does that. Not if you want to move real fast, at least. Because if I double tap forward, see how quickly it gets me there? If I tap the punch buttons, it still dashes me, but I can press down to cancel the dash, so I can go like this, and I can get there real fast, right? And you can get crazy fast if you're on hitbox, but you probably can't do that on stick. There's a little bit more delay between pressing the down, and then for holding back, or for going back, you just hold back and then press the 2 buttons to dash back, and then you press down. So you don't want to actually go as fast. Like, you don't actually want to go that fast. You want to go like at a moderate pace. And each character's wave dash is different. Like Nova's is a little bit different than Ryu's. Like you can see his back dash is like, I probably should hold it like a little bit longer because his isn't nearly as fast as Ryu's. Apart from that, they also have box dashing or triangle dashing. Which I always get that. I keep on accidentally getting that. Someone explain that to me. Why I keep getting, when I try to go down forward, I keep getting that. I must have just not pressing them twice, or together, I mean. But essentially, what a triangle dash is that you jump, and characters with 8-way air dashes, like Nova, like Iron Man, like Captain Marvel, like Ultron, they can do stuff like that. And they can also accidentally get super a lot. This is really embarrassing. But essentially, yeah, you could do that. So you can like jump and then like do stuff like that. Like in mid-screen, makes it kind of hard to like block stuff, right? Because it's like, oh shit, he's on the other side now, right? Or that time he's not on the other side. So it's like a crazy cross-up, mix-up every time you do one of those. You can also do it to like do regular mobility a little bit faster, but I feel like you're probably better off just like doing it on the floor if you're trying to move really fast. So yeah, that's 2 types of movements. On top of that, we have jumping. So there are 3, well, really only 2, but a third kind of hidden thing, kind of jump that you can do. So you got regular jumps, which it's just any other game. You just hold up. And then you got super jumps, down, up. And you press down, and then press up. Boom. That easy. But there's also a like third style jump in this game where you can press down, up, down, and essentially it's like canceling your super jump. See how high this is? See how like much airtime Ryu has? If I press down, he won't go nearly as high, and he'll kind of like just hop. So I can't jump from this far away and get very far, right? But I can super jump from this far away. But then I'm too high. So what if I want to go like in between? You know what I'm saying? That's kind of what that's for. I'm not sure how much utilization you're going to get out of that in the average game, but there it is. We'll talk about a staple combo. Pretty much every character that I've seen, besides like maybe Hulk and like a few people with like special hard punch moves, pretty much can do light punch, light kick, heavy punch, crouching heavy punch as like their staple ground combo. And then their air combo is just light punch, light kick, heavy punch, heavy kick. Typically. A character like Hagar, actually, you want to do like light punch, light kick, heavy punch, forward heavy punch, right? But it changes per character, but it's kind of all it is. You can also do a heavy kick like with Ryu. You can do light punch, light kick, heavy punch, heavy kick, and then launcher. Like, so you just wanna like try what character you're playing to see what they can do for their staple combo. But that's general rule of thumb. Like, I think if I switch to Nova, he can do the exact same thing. Oops. Yeah. So just take a look at your character and see what's up. What else do I want to mention? Oh yeah, I want to mention tagging. Tagging's super important in this game because you can do it pretty much whenever the hell you want. You can do it when you're blocking, you can do it when crossing up, you can do it when hitting someone. So if I wanted to like extend a combo, right, I could do like a staple whatever with this character and then tag in Nova to do some other shit. So what am I trying to do? Alright, so I could like tag Nova in and like continue the combo, which tends to be what a lot of people do, especially with characters that have like Oki setups, like Jeddah or Thanos. They'll like call them, they'll like do like I don't know, like some sort of fireball and then cancel into that shit and then mix them up, right? That's really common. Also, like cross-up setups. So like we talked about how the triangle dash is really really hard to deal with, especially when you can't do it correctly. I'm just gonna, you know what? The point is that you can do shit like this and then call in Ryu and then he's on the other side. So like even if they blocked it correctly, now you're on the other side. It's a mix-up in every like sense of the, like every movement in this game, every tag is like a mix-up or like a situation that causes for your opponent to really have to think about what they got to do. On top of that, you can do like Tatsu, like you know how people like do cross-up Tatsu, especially in Marvel. You see a lot of cross-up Tatsu in Marvel. So they'll like try and do like a cross-up Tatsu and then they'll call the tag, and it's like really hard to block, right? What else? Other thing about tag, you see that reality gem in the corner? See how that meter's filled up? When it's halfway filled up, you can actually hold the tag button while being hit and call your other character. So this is kind of like your I'm not even sure. There's nothing really comparable with that. I don't think there's another game that lets you call in an assist or something once getting hit. I don't think it takes any meter. I think it just requires that you have half reality or half whatever gem you're using. Yeah, so you could do that, which is pretty cool. Really interesting. What else? One other thing, I forgot to mention push blocking. Okay, so I'm back. My hitbox doesn't have an R3 button, so I couldn't properly show you this without using a stick. So now if you hear it's a stick, that's why. Okay. So in this game there's a recording function, so if you hear a stick, I am using a stick because my hitbox does not have an R3 and an L3 button. So what we're going to do is we're going to do a fireball for you, okay? So to show you what push blocking looks like, looks like that. Actually, that's a perfect push guard. You don't want that. So, boom, that's a push guard. So what you do to push guards, you press both punches together, and then once you do that, it kind of like it negates chip first of all, and it also kind of pushes you back a little bit. Now, what you're seeing right there is that with some projectiles, well, all projectiles pretty much, if I press advancing guard at the right time, I will send the projectile back at them. Now, this means pretty much all projectiles except for supers. There's certain projectiles that I think get away with it, like Thanos' weird projectile that has like multiple hits, and I think Jeddah's little spiral thing. You can't reflect those, but you still push block them like that. Advancing guard seems to be really strong in this game in particular, so it's definitely gonna be a thing you want to learn for sure. So yeah. Now I think we can get into the gems, so we'll be right back. Also, one last thing about push blocking You can push block anything. You can push block supers, you can push block normals, you can push block projectiles, but you can only reflect normal projectiles. You cannot reflect super projectiles, you cannot reflect normals. That wouldn't make any sense. You can only reflect projectiles. Okay, so moving on. Let's talk about the gem system in this game. The gem system is kind of the answer for X Factor, right? The comeback system. So depending on what gem you pick, they all have different traits. So Reality Gem has this projectile. So cool thing about this projectile is that no matter where you are on the screen, it follows your opponent. So you could be, you know, I could super jump like way high above him and it's gonna go right to him. And if he starts moving, it's gonna follow him. So I'll show that real quick, actually. Oops. We'll just show him jumping. Actually, super jumping. So he's gonna super jump, and I'm gonna send this shit out, and it's gonna follow him the whole way. So that becomes very hard to deal with. Reality seems like immediately the cheapest gem. So that's what this is called a surge does. Gem surge or whatever they call it. So the gem storm, which is when this meter is filled up in the bottom left and bottom right corner. Whenever your meter is filled up halfway, you can activate the storm. So Reality Storm turns the screen the shitty red color and it looks really bad. But what it does give you is a bunch of like interesting traits to your normals. So in Reality Gem, if you press Light Punch, you get a bunch of like these weird projectiles come out. You see them? So that's one thing you get with Light Punch, right? Now it's about to end, so. And then with Light Kick, you get this frozen thing. It's basically what's your name? Colin's fucking B trigger. And you can combo them off that. Like you can hit this and go, oh, whatever, you know? And then next is his Heavy Punch, which causes, you can kind of see this little flame thing start up, and you can do it like anywhere on the screen. Like now it's up there, right? So I can kind of like do it right there. And if he was to jump, like he kind of has to eat that, right? Like he's gonna have to eat that eventually, that kind of thing. And then his Heavy Kick causes lightning to come down, which knocks them up. I mean, you probably get a combo after it if you were to like super jump it or something. I'm actually not sure. I haven't like seen anyone use Reality Gem very effectively in combos, but it kind of makes you hard to deal with because you can just kind of press stuff and then like, things are happening, right? So yeah, that's Reality Gem. Let's switch gems now. Soul Stone, sure. So Soul Stone is kind of an interesting one. So Soul Stone, if I am low on health, right, what I can do is I can press the Soul Stone and it has this little like whip kind of come out, straight whip, comes out pretty fast, goes pretty far, like that's like what, 70% of the screen. It's pretty good. And then when I hit it, boom, 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 boom. You see my health going up with Nova? It steals your opponent's life. So at 90%, it's like 5% each time, right? So 5%, I mean, getting hit with this every time, stealing 5% of your life, that's a pretty big deal. It's pretty annoying to deal with. But what's really cool is the Surge. It's really weird. We'll just turn him on CPU and have him hit me a couple times. Okay. So, Nova just died, right? That fucking sucks. But what I can do is you can see that he's kind of like laying there, looking to teabag him. Take that, Nova. And if I activate my Soul Storm,
Battle's not finished yet.
he comes back to life. And not only does he come back to life, but I control both of them. Like if I do this stuff, if I'm starting doing moves, he's doing his own stuff, right? And if I do supers, it's the same thing. They'll both do supers, which is kind of crazy. I could definitely see some weird setup stuff coming here. The interesting thing is that now he's got like 10% life back. What is that? That's not 10%. That's like 20%. Let me change the percentage of life. Yeah, he gets 20% life back. So that's really cool. That's really, really cool. That's an interesting gem. It doesn't seem nearly as cheap as Reality, but you know, still pretty good. So next one, I keep calling them gems, by the way. They're stones, aren't they? Whatever. Fuck it. So Mind Stone. What's interesting about Mind Stone is it's a command throw, right? So it's a command throw that does this, and then it stuns them, right? So I can get a combo after. So I can stun them, and then get a guaranteed combo. Boom, stunned. Oh fuck. My buttons are different again. Okay, so you can get a follow up after it, right? Whatever. And then you can also kind of like instant air it, right? I think the way you want to use this particular stone is you want to like do some weird air oki, like you know how when a character comes from the side of the screen when the other one dies, you can use this for some interesting stuff in the air. But I gotta say the hitbox on it is pretty small. I mean, I'm surprised that hit genuinely. So okay, it's bigger than I thought maybe. But you can't like do this. Like you gotta be a little bit closer, right? But you can do it totally in the air too. But the scaling off it's pretty intense. So like, if I show you, that's what I'll do. So I do this, and then I'll do. No, okay, I'll do this. I was gonna do a combo, but you know what? It'd be better if I just did a level 3. So that's the scaling off a level 3. That's what a level 3 did. It was like maybe 30%, which isn't that good because this is what it normally should do, right? Like the first 2 hits are 30%. It should do like bam, like 50 or 60. So the scaling off Mind Stone is intense. It's really big. But let's get on to what Mind Stone's Surge does. So I've set my meter to 1, and when I activate Mind Stone, boom, it's gaining like really fast. It's going really fast, right? So if I use a meter right now, it will not gain during my super animation, but it will start gaining right after that, right? So it's a good way to gain a lot of meter real fast, right? If you got characters that like are meter dependent or like have like a lot of uses for meter, characters like Arthur, X, and Zero all kind of can go into like another form, or even Dante can all go into like their Devil Trigger or their whatever the hell X, his power armor, and like all those different modes. You can kind of like use that so that everyone's kind of in their armor and their modes and all that stuff. Okay, so that's Mind Stone. Now we got Time Stone. Time Stone's a pretty good one, I think. It's one of the better ones, certainly. So, Mind Stone, or Time Stone, gives you like another air dash. It gives you like this dash that's invincible. You can't be hit during it, but there is recovery after it. So you can totally get clipped on that recovery. But a character like Ryu doesn't have an air dash. So like, he can like, boom, get across the screen like that. So from like full screen, the only way he can get across screen is like to super jump and not hold down, you stupid idiot. And then do like a Tatsu or something. Like he'd have to super jump and then Tatsu and then he's in, right? But that's all kind of risky stuff to do, right? So instead you can do this and then you get a different option. You can block, you can go in with a different button. You could do shit like this. You can like Time Stone and a tag, which makes it pretty hard to block some stuff, right? And even Nova can like air dash into it, so he can get even farther. So you can like do like backdash, forward dash kind of stuff. You can do all kinds of crazy stuff with Time Stone. So that's real cool. Just a basic mobility kind of change to what you can do. I'm sorry, I haven't even done the Surge yet, or the Storm. So the Storm is real cool. If you played Street Fighter Alpha 3, there was a certain thing that lets you do like combos like that. Essentially, you can cancel normals into other normals. You can cancel just stuff in the stuff, basically. So you can cancel normals into other normals, where normally you couldn't do that, right? So I can do fierce. I can just do this over and over and over again until eventually it stops comboing. Because eventually the scaling is going to be too much, right? So at 23 hits, it stopped comboing. But you can do real interesting combos with this. I haven't seen too many people use this. Because you do have to, after you activate it, you still need to get the hit. So like, you can do stuff like that, or actually I think, yeah. And then you can do like OTG and launch, and then do some more shit, right? So you can do stuff like that. It's interesting. I'm not sure if it's going to be great, because the combo damage in this game is already good. This is just like access to easy, high damage combos. So that's Time Stone. Next is Space Stone. This stone's fucked up. So what Space Stone does, I don't know if you guys have seen Magneto's like little gravity thing that you can push and pull people. It's essentially what it does. You can pull people into you. Which you can pull people into you and then like do something like throw. Boom. You can't pull them when they're on the ground, so it's not, or when they're in the air. So it's not totally like Magneto. But can you do it when they're jumping? I actually don't know that. Yeah, you can totally do it when they're jumping. Okay, so you just can't do it when they're being hit or when they're on the ground. But you can do it any other time. So you can pull them in, boom, 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 boom. Kind of interesting, and if you have grappler characters, that becomes really scary. That's pretty good. So when you activate Space Stone, or the Storm, boom, puts them in the box. I'm sure you guys have seen this before, but the characters like Nova in particular, with his triangle dash nonsense, that I literally am terrible at. When you got characters like that, they can do that kind of stuff. And they can't get out of this box, by the way. They just can't. So like stuff like, yeah, you saw that I like was jabbing him infinitely. Normally the pushback would not let me do this, but I can totally do this because he can't get out of this. Until eventually he just has enough, right? So what happens when he gets launched up into the up into the air? It just comes with him. So no combos are. It doesn't prevent you from doing any combos. It prevents them from doing combos. Like if they were to hit you in the box, they actually can't jump up out of the box. So there's that. So yeah, that's a Space Stone. Pretty interesting. Definitely a setup heavy stone that could do a lot of stuff. So last but not least is the Power Stone. Or maybe it is least. I'm not honestly sure. Power Stone is interesting. It has this little thing, which you can use to anti-air, you can use in the air, you can use kind of as a cross-up. But what it does is it, boom, hits them off the wall. So it lets them wall bound, so you can like get a combo after, right? You can do all kinds of whatever. But the problem is, I think with this, is that I would think the Power Stone should be its own wall bound. Because in this game there are 3 states. There is there are 3 states in this game. There is like OTG state, which means off the ground. There are certain buttons or moves that will hit opponents on the ground to launch them again. So like if I throw him in the corner, I can jab him. I can do this. This is an OTG, right? But then they have wall or ground bound. So ground bound looks more like I've shown in the combos before. Boom. See how he bounced off the ground like that? I can combo after that, right? I'm not terrible, but you can combo them after that. That's like a ground bound. I don't know if Nova has anything like that. And then you can do a wall bound, which looks like that. They bounce off the wall towards you, so you can get a combo, or whatever, right? So you can like do like boom, whatever. But with the Power Stone gives you this. It does a wall bound, right? But the problem is, in my opinion, is that if I do like a if I do a combo with Ryu where I use the Power Stone and then try to do the kick, that also should, you know, bounce them off the wall, it won't bounce them off the wall. So the damage extension is questionable, but it exists and it has other uses. Like I said, the cross up and the anti-air stuff is pretty good. So when you activate it, it basically makes your normals hit really fucking hard. Like, see how I jabbed him and he like came off the ground? That's kind of what I mean. Is that like, but it gets weird because like if I do like a staple combo, right? He bounced off the wall instead of hit the floor, right? But I could also do stuff like this, where if I'm in the corner, I can just hit fierce repeatedly or hard punch. See, so I can do like stuff like that. So like in the corner, it seems pretty good, but I'm not sure about everywhere else on the screen. You know what I mean? It's an interesting stone. One thing I didn't mention about all stones, once you activate their storm, you can press the 2 buttons again, and you'll automatically do a level 3, and it will take 0 meter. So if you were doing, say, a power stone combo, and you did the one I was just doing in the corner, right? Fierce, 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 fierce. I could just, and that cost me no meter, right? So, and now I still have my 4 bars to continually fuck up Iron Man, right? So, that's pretty much, I think that's pretty much everything you guys need to know. Apart from like character individual stuff, I've pretty much showed you guys everything that's in the game. So, hopefully this video was helpful and not super long for those of you that wanted to learn everything. Thank you guys for watching. I'm sorry for saying so much. It's kind of the thing I do when I'm by myself. So, I apologize. But I hope you guys enjoyed the video and subscribe for more. And I don't know if I'll be doing any combo videos for this game. Probably not. This game's too hard. If I'm 100% honest. And yeah, I don't know. I'll see you guys.